Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I am so bad right now. I just realized something, guys. I am not properly set up, and this is very embarrassing. So, if you guys can just give me a moment. But hello, welcome to Sit Down and Lockdown. How are you guys doing? Um, I have a very awesome guest with me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. She is a female comedian. So excited to have her on the show. And as you guys can see, there some behind the scenes. It's fine. You know what? We're gonna have fun. It's all about comedy and having fun, right? So you guys at the moment are staring at a blank wall because I am looking for my light. But if you could just listen to the sound of my voice while I tell you guys, don't forget that you guys can actually donate. That's right, don't forget to donate, please. I'm doing this to help every single performer that is on my show. You guys can donate. There's a link in the description below. It's anonymous. So all you do is you go to that link, you say how much you want to donate, whether it be 20 Rand, 1,000 Rand, 2,000 Rand. If you're abroad, I think you can also donate a few dollars. That would be cool. And now everything's falling apart. And don't forget, please, to donate. The link is in the description below. All right, here we go. Now we are officially set up properly. Hello, everyone. I see Nabila's already here. Hello, Nabila. How are you doing? She's actually going to be on. Nabila has been. I don't want to say trolling my comment section because she hasn't. She's been a big fan of the comedy stuff that I do here, and she's actually going to be debuting tomorrow night on the roast. She's going to be the roast mistress. So I'm very excited about that. If you're watching this after the fact, come join us tomorrow night for the roast. It's going to be, like I said, Nabila as roast mistress, and we're going to have Bevan Boyson and Mikhail Kanaka up against each other. So that's going to be exciting. Chico, thank you so much for joining. Good evening, Nabila, as I said. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm set up. I'm ready to go. I'm bringing on my guest now. She is a fantastic comedienne. And I think she is so funny. So, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge, thunderous round of applause, even though we're not going to hear it, please welcome Arlene Petersen.
Sit down and lockdown.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, so how are you doing, Arlene? How are things?
I'm okay. I wasn't okay 2 hours ago. I was stressing about data. To be honest, data problem is real, guys. I've been stressing. I'm like, hey, I need to go live tonight. And then, things happen and someone phoned me and asked me that same question. How you doing? I said the same thing. Before you know it, 200 Rand on my phone and I could buy 2 gigs. So
Yay.
I'm way better now. I'm way better. Thank you for asking. How about
Cool.
you?
It's been a bit of a rough week, if I'm honest. It's just some going through some personal stuff, but I'm all right. I'm good. It's easing up a bit. So let's get right into it. I like, as you know, like, and as I explained to you earlier, I like to like talk to my comedian friends. We haven't seen each other. We actually saw each other quite recently after like a long time of not seeing each other.
Yeah, that is
At
so cool.
Yeah, at that gig East Stream Live, which was very fun, and you were one of the first comedians I had on that show, which was awesome. You were super funny, and you said some things that were very interesting to me during that show. So I thought that maybe we could elaborate a little bit more tonight.
Oh,
I understand that you've been actually quite busy during the lockdown. You've been doing things.
yes.
Yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I've still been volunteering at our local community. Feeding schemes they've been doing the hard work.
Hmm.
So they've been feeding like thousands of people a week, and I've been volunteering my services in cooking and helping preparing the food, dishing up for any person that comes and just say they're hungry. I was one of the people in the front line cooking and feeding the masses
Hmm.
basically.
Okay, and you're still doing that.
Yeah, I am, but it's less now. I think something is happening with gang violence in our area right now.
Oh, wow.
Gang violence it has peaked. Even in the media, if
Yeah.
you don't live in an unsavory place, the media, you can see the killings, the gender-based violence. So in our areas, what happened is that gang violence started up again now because of the shooting.
Mm,
We cannot allow kids to come stand in a line for food. And
mm.
it's basically stopped the feeding schemes like right in its track, which is very sad. Because
Wow.
now those kids are starving because of, do you know why they're fighting, Joe?
No.
Cigarette.
Really?
Not, not for drugs. Who's selling drugs now? That is like out of the window. Now it's about this is my corner and I'm selling cigarettes here.
Oh man, now okay, so we're gonna start talking about a very sensitive topic.
That's
um,
ridiculous.
what? This is interesting though because this is not something that's mentioned in the media. That these violent, or do they mention it? Because I haven't seen this in the media. That
No, no. It's just gang violence, people dying and shooting, but they're not saying why.
yeah,
They're not saying, but because I live in Lavendale,
hmm
I know,
yeah.
I know people that tell me this is what's going on. It's because of cigarette turf.
Oh my word, that's oh. And
Saying
how does that
it's
make?
directly,
How does
it's
that?
directly linked. Sorry.
Sorry. How
Okay, I'll
does?
go.
Yeah, you go. You go. You go.
Like it's directly linked to a decision that government made.
Mm,
Let's take away the cigarettes, but remember, you took away a lot of things, right?
mm,
So cigarettes, it's just like any other drug. I'm gonna do my best to get a cigarette,
mm. Yes.
but now people are dying because of turf, which is dumb.
So how does that make your community feel? Like, are you guys like, can you feel the anger now building because of this? I mean, how severe is the violence? Like, I hope that like children haven't been affected or anything like that.
Joe, something is brewing in my area. I can feel it, like the tension is tangible. 2 days ago, a 3-year-old child was shot and died. 3 years old, never had a chance in life, died only 2 days ago. So I feel like even me, I am angry right now. I know, guys, I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to be making jokes, but we'll get there. But this is something that I need to talk about. People are dying. A 3-year old never asked for anything. He never had a chance. And why? Because of cigarettes. Really now.
That's
Something is definitely happening. It's happening. And I'm very scared for one that one person must just stand up and do an uprising. This whole community is going to burn something down. That's how I feel.
wow. And you must have upset you yesterday with the president not mentioning these kind of crimes or anything like that.
The president only mentioned names. The
Mm,
president only mentions the deceased names. Never did they say anything about this is our plan forward, or we've been discussing gender based violence or the scourge of the killing of kids. Never. He just basically said rest in peace. That is what I feel.
mm.
I feel like I should really tell you what I feel about the president right now. He'll probably lose fans and followers. So I'll just keep it to say that, yeah, he should go back and, like, he said this one thing that made me so angry.
Mm,
He said they want the youth to be in parliament. They want the ideas of youth because it was youth day.
mm,
So they only talk about stuff that is relevant, right?
mm.
But how can you say you want youth with youth and young ideas, but not one of our current members of parliament is under 60?
Yeah,
What are you even? You're coming with your old school ideas and saying that you want our ideas. That's almost like a business plan. You know, when you go
yeah.
pitch a business, then they don't give you the money, but they take your idea.
Mm,
That's basically what our president was saying. Give us
mm,
your ideas and we'll see what happens.
mm.
Doesn't work like that. That made me angry.
If I can just touch on something that you said now, you said that you are scared to say anything because you're scared that you might lose followers and stuff. I can understand that. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been very vocal in my opinion about the government as of late, and I have been under a lot of fire for it.
Mm,
But I am fighting back because it is, I think that, and I think you will agree with me on this, you and I care about our community. You clearly care about yours. You do charity work, so obviously you care about your people. You care about South Africa as a whole. Whether you're white, black, colored, Indian, doesn't matter. You care about every single citizen in South Africa. I am exactly the same way. My patriotism for America is the same patriotism I have for South Africa. I am both, and I care very much. And to hear stories like this, Arlene, you have no idea how much it angers me, and actually gives me more reason to stand up. I like to think that it's like standing up for the voice of the voiceless, the ones that can't say anything. Because we've had this discussion before that comedians are scared to give their actual opinions, even
Ah, that's
though,
how I that's
even
how I
though
feel.
we are protected. We have, as individuals, forget about being a comedian, as an individual, as a South African citizen, you have the right, under the Constitution, you have the right to your own opinions and views, as long as it does not incite harm or violence. And it is protected by the Constitution. But it is due to the woke and the cancel culture, as well as the corporate culture, that seems to suppress us, which is the problem. And this is something that I think we all need to have an open discussion about. I think that this needs to be brought to the forefront. These things that are happening in your community need to be spoken about, even if it's just that. Maybe you don't need to speak about the president and his failures and what you really think of him. But I'm so happy that you brought this up. I will actually appreciate it if there's some people I know in the alternative media. They have a voice, a big one, and they can help you spread this message if you're interested. And
I'm
I,
definitely,
yeah, so we need to
definitely.
get that news out there. Um, I just want to address some of our comments here. Tarquin saying, I'm late, please fill me in. um, Tarquin, basically, Arlene, sorry, where do you stay again, Arlene? You stay in
Lavender Hill.
Lavender Hill, and she's witnessed some atrocious crimes due to the cigarette ban, where a 3-year-old child has lost his life due to these gang wars over cigarettes. And as we all know, the cigarette ban is still in place and might remain in place for a very long time. And when this happens, obviously, things like this happen. Yeah, I guess cigarettes is the new cocaine. It's the new heroin. It,
Yeah. I
it,
was saying, you know what? It feels to me like with all the gender-based violence, a rapist must first have a cigarette or smoke a cigarette before government will actually take action. And that's so sad. That is
wow.
so sad. We live in a world where you can now smoke marijuana, you can even have coke, for instance.
Mm,
You can do whatever, but don't you dare smoke a cigarette.
mm,
And then if you think about it, I got this trend on social media, about who is linked to the grade of the states and whatever. So it's still just the government benefiting
mm.
and
Yes.
people dying.
Yes, I also released a video about my little theory about that. It's Mazzotti and NDZ that are behind this. There's no. I mean, we all know. And here's the. I don't know if you noticed this, but after the president's speech last night, right? I went on social media. What was the most topic or posts that were put out there? All had to do with cigarettes.
That he didn't mention cigarettes.
Yeah.
No matter what he said, everybody was just saying you didn't say anything about cigarettes. So
Yep.
like blah 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 blah. No cigarettes.
You
That's
just
what
summed up
happened.
everything for.
That is what happened.
Yeah, and that's sad. That's actually even more sad because gender-based violence is a very serious topic. But something I noticed is that they were upset that he didn't talk about farm murders. He didn't talk about other murders that happen on a daily basis. I mean, you've just mentioned a few yourself right now. These communities that are suffering at the moment, and I was look. I know it's a very touchy subject, but I was very angry when he was talking about gender based violence. Not because it shouldn't be talked about, but because I feel that as president, you shouldn't just talk. We don't want talk, we want action. Your country is crying. People,
I'm with you on that.
people
I'm
have
with you,
lost
Emil.
their lives. They're losing their lives every day. A woman was hung and stabbed, and she was pregnant. Anywhere else in the world with the decency for their fellow human being, would have that president should have gone out and said, we have the army, do whatever you can to find that person and make sure that person gets, or the family gets, justice. And the fact that you just say, oh guys, all the men in our country, just be nice, just be nice.
Just be nice, please. That's all they said. Like Like, come up with a plan. Don't just say, guys, rest in peace to the people that died.
Mm,
Come up with a plan. We want a plan.
mm,
Like, I've studied politics myself. I've totally removed myself from politics and comedy. At first, when I started comedy, I thought, okay, there's only one female comic that I've been following that does politics, which is Tumi Morake. She
mm,
speaks about politics a lot. And I thought, okay, maybe that is a angle for me, like take what I know about politics and bring it into the comedy sphere. And then I'm like, I totally had to remove myself because of cancel culture
mm,
and people. Not that I'm doing it for them, but still, you want to be mindful and do it like they're gonna say, yeah, you have a hidden agenda. You want to push your own agenda. But it's not about pushing your own agenda, it's you being woke yourself
mm,
and trying to educate other people by doing that. They're telling you, yeah, you want to indoctrinate people. But
mm,
no, bruh. We woke, you woke, I'm woke, but
mm.
people take it different. So I totally removed myself and now I just do comedy.
Yeah, I think
Whatever's funny.
it's basically two sides of the coin. You have the woke, and you have I think some. In my circles, we call ourselves the awake. So it's like it's the same.
Oh wait, I've
Yeah,
seen the hashtag. I've seen
yeah.
hashtag.
It's the same thing, really. We're just it's different sides of the coin with different opinions and stuff, and that's fine. That's see, that's what irritates me, right? When I talk about everyone having the right to an opinion and a view, I'm talking about you too. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about the woke. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. It just seems that the one side, well, both sides can be actually quite harsh. Let's be honest. Both sides can be very, very harsh. But this cancel culture that's going around is what is very devastating to lives, and that's where I feel there needs to be. That's when now you're overstepping the line. In some cases, obviously, some people have this cancel culture where they're like, well, this guy said this, so let's disassociate ourselves from this person, and that's fine. I mean, obviously, everybody's entitled to their own view. But the danger becomes when you take it a bit too far and you hurt someone. That then why? Why do you want to inflict pain on someone? I've seen terrible videos on social media of just people being literally beaten. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that we, as fellow human beings, have somehow forgotten how to get along. We're both made of the same flesh and blood. I might come from a different background than you, and I might have not experienced the same path you have, but it doesn't matter. We're both the same, and I want to help you. You want to help me. I want to help others. You want to help others. We all want to get along, and to see this world in South Africa, especially because I love South Africa, um, going down this path. And I don't know. Here's maybe you can give me your view on this. I think that the government is doing a very good job of keeping the civilians divided. That's what I see. I don't know if you agree with that.
I am agreeing with you 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, if we should only know how powerful we are if we are united.
Mm.
So, what they're doing is divided we fall.
Yep.
Divided we fall. Mission complete. That
Mm.
is their whole mission complete. If we can unite and stand as one voice, bruh, we
Mm.
would we would get. Remember, we. The Constitution starts with the preamble that says, "We the people,"
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Means we placed them there,
Mm.
right? We voted
Yes.
for the government to be there, which means they are only our spokesman. They're
Mm.
supposed to be our mouth,
Yes.
but it's not like that. Once they're there, the mouth is a separate entity from the body.
Mm.
And that's what's currently happening.
Mm.
And they're keeping us so blinded that we don't realize they will use anything for us to be divided.
Mm.
I agree 100% with you, which is very sad.
Yes.
Very.
I'm glad to see this side of you. Like we were just talking earlier. This whole thing about comedians not being able to voice their opinions and stuff like that. I think, look, whether you like him or you hate him, again, your opinion. But Gareth Cliff said something very important, and he said when he was being asked about, why does he feel he should talk or send a letter to the president. He said that if I'm a person that's in this position with a huge, basically, microphone to voice this, he feels that it's a crime to be silenced. To be silenced is to be in shackles. That's exactly what he said. And I agree with him 100%. You, me, and there are other comedians that feel the way we do. Trust me, there are. And I think it's time we started saying something, I mean, be it your fight with your community and saying like, hey guys, this is what the cigarette ban is doing in my community. It's not cool. Like, we gotta do something. People are dying every day, and the media doesn't. The mainstream media doesn't want to touch it because for whatever reason. And I'm gonna make sure that you get that story out. That needs to that.
Like,
Yeah.
if I tell you, I've always, before comedy, before everything I did, I've always been the voice of the people and
Mm,
very opinionated. Like,
mm,
I've gone through so much things in Lavender. Like, I lost my own twin brother 4 years ago.
I'm
He
sorry.
got shot right in front of our house, Emilio. And I started speaking about it because, like, I've never been a gangster. But unfortunately, my twin brother was a gangster. So I lived with a gangster since he was 18. He died at 25, right? So I started speaking about it, but none of the newspapers or nothing wanted to pick up the story because it wasn't news. It was
Mm,
just another gangster that died.
mm,
It took someone from Denmark to come over to South Africa for me to tell my story in Denmark.
mm,
So that kind of hurt my feelings, but then I had to take it back and be like, at least someone in Denmark saw it, if
mm.
you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like, if not here, I still told my story internationally.
Mm,
Because somehow people forget that, yes, I had a friend on a show in last week or so that's a psychologist, and she told something about that we have continuous trauma, which is like, it's like basically in a nutshell, it's like, when a bath is hot, it's kind of difficult to get into a hot bath.
mm,
Your body goes into shock. But once you're in the hot bath, you get accustomed to it. You can even add more hot water. That's what it's like when you speak about gangsterism or people dying in the communities because it's the norm.
mm.
Whereas I feel it shouldn't be the norm. We shouldn't normalize this.
No.
It's like in the colored community, all you will hear is, um, dinges is alweer geskiet. Like, it's the norm. And then you
Mm,
continue watching TV. It's not for me.
mm,
Since I lost my brother 4 years ago, I've been in this pathway where if I hear someone died, my mind automatically goes to, did someone go to that mother? Did
mm.
someone go to that family and be there? You get a lot of people that say, phone me if you need anything. But even me, I'm not the someone that will phone Joe and say, Joe, you know what, I need to talk. I won't do that. But Joe, if you come to my house and ask me, oh, you okay? That's a different story.
Yeah.
I dedicate my life to that person. Going to someone's house and actually asking, are you okay? You
Mm,
don't have to talk to me, but I'll sit next to you
mm,
in silence.
mm.
So I feel like something first have to happen to your own family. I'm making a parable now for government. Something first have to happen in their circle for them to take it serious.
Mm.
And, like, I often feel like I want to speak my truth. I want to speak my opinion. But because I'm always thinking about doing corporate gigs, getting work. So I'm always thinking about my brand. If I could wake up every morning and go on Facebook, say, what's up, motherfuckers? I would do it. But then people will go through my Facebook and be like, ratchet. You
Mm.
see, so it's in the back of your mind, protecting your brand, protecting. And I wish I could just be all in then, which is sad
Mm.
because I must be a nothing to speak my mind then.
Yes. But that's the thing. So I know with corporates, yes, it is a bit of a touchy subject, but there are a lot of corporates out there that would support your voice. That's the thing. That's what people don't realize. There's corporates out there that would 100% support your voice. If your voice, look, let's make a very good example here. So if you are a voice like Julius Malema, who goes out and says "kill the boer" and all that stuff, no one's going to support that except for maybe, okay, well, maybe some people will, but mainstream corporates are not going to have Julius Malema on their, like McDonald's is not going to have Julius Malema on the face of McDonald's. Like, it's not going to happen. But if you are, fighting the good fights and you're being honest and backing it up with facts, and a corporate will see that and be like, you know what, we support this. You're right. let's back this up, let's help this person. I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen, and that's why, like, look, with corporates, it's always tricky because if you go with the mainstream corporates, then they usually have a contract for you. They'll say, like, oh, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that. And then you can have that discussion with them and decide if you want to follow those rules or not. That's completely up to you as an artist and as a performer.
I'm
And
following the rules for the money. I'm
yeah.
following the. If you're gonna pay me, I'm following the rules. Hey, but
But that's the
okay,
thing.
yeah, I'll do that.
That's the thing. And it's your choice to do that. Again, freedom of choice, freedom of performance and doing what you want to do. You are free. It's your life to do what you want to do. I am in a different position where I basically can talk about this stuff, so I do. And I hope that maybe in the future things will ease up, or I don't know, something will change. We'll see. But yeah, those are the dynamics, and I completely understand them. At the end of the day, I agree 100%. We all have to put food on our table. It's just that I like talking about this because it shows people that to some degree, we as performers are being censored because you can't. If you get a gig now with let's say Coca-Cola, and they say, look, we don't want you to talk about politics, we don't want you to talk about murders, we don't want you to talk about what's happening in your community, we don't want you to blah 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 blah, and you go out and you're the jester and you're making people laugh and stuff like that, you're not really using your voice necessarily for good, or if you want to like do start a foundation that fights for your community, maybe in that light you can get away with it because it's a charity. But other than that, you can't make a post and be like, oh man, I can't believe this happened. Not necessarily saying anything bad about the government, but like, oh man, this happened, I can't believe it, and I'm so upset, and why isn't the government doing anything? And the moment you say that, you're like, oh, it's over, and cancel culture then gets on you and all that stuff, and that's the problem. But that's also censorship of an individual. That's you again. You have a right to your views and opinions. It's a bit complicated. I get it because again, it depends on the contract you have with someone. But again, it brings me back to the point of what do you think? Do you think this is censorship to a certain degree?
Definitely, definitely. I've done corporate gigs where they gave me such a long list. Oh, we want you to be yourself. Have fun. But just don't talk about religion, politics. No, 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 no. Then you're like, there's that joke, there goes that joke, there goes that joke. Okay, I'm left with fat jokes. So now I just have to make fat jokes and be the colored stereotype. Because now what am I gonna do? Because that's the type of comedy I do. I tell
Mm,
stories. I take my pain, and that's how comedy started for me
mm,
when I lost my brother. I had to find something as an outlet,
mm,
even though I've been emceeing for 5 years. But that where I go on the stage, like I made such dog jokes in the beginning, like you won't even believe. I would make a joke about my brother being gone, and now we have a spare room in a densely populated area. It's like I could just go on stage and say that. You know what I mean? But
mm.
take that same joke and take it to a corporate, people would be like,
It,
oh, she have a
yeah.
gun, she's gonna rob us. Like, so yes, I am being censored. I
Yeah.
am. If I can really say what I want to on stage, I don't think I will be that likable for real. Right now, I'm likable. People still like me. Thank you. Thank you. Continue to like me. But if I could really speak my mind, people would think twice to like me.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing though, because I've been told by a lot of people that, comedy is used to bring certain truths to the forefront, especially in satire and all that stuff. So to not be able to, I feel as comedians, to even make a joke out of these, things that are happening, is again censorship of our art. The other day, a fellow comedian, this is also, I feel, an attack on our industry, so to speak. A fellow comedian wrote a thesis about accents and how certain accents can't be used by certain individuals
Oh
or
yeah, yeah,
race.
yeah. I
Yeah,
read those.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
read it.
I agree that you shouldn't use an accent to belittle someone. Like I can't. If for someone to make fun of the way you talk, but like really make like, oh, it's a stupid accent and it's a, you sound like a whore or whatever, blah blah. That's wrong. That's not cool. We never should
Hmm.
use comedy in that way to belittle someone. to that extent, unless it's a roast, of course, different story. But you know, if I can't go on stage and then pick on the audience time and time again, and no heckling, just pick on the audience, make fun of them, but people can feel like, yo, this guy isn't really telling jokes; he's actually just making fun of
Mm,
us. That's
mm,
not right. I agree 100%. But to start telling comedians like, oh, but a white person can't now use a colored accent, and a colored person can't use an Indian accent, and blah 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 blah, unless, and you don't have the license to do this, and you don't have the license to do that. That's where I'm like, okay, now you're censoring the art, because I know as someone who studied theater and art, that kind of theater is comedy is theater. So that art form has brought in so many issues to the forefront. Even today, it's still doing that. The moment we start censoring theater, I don't know if I still want to do comedy, to be honest. I don't know how you feel about
yeah,
that.
what's like I don't get it, you know. I'm a colored, and this is my accent. This is how I talk. Like even in my comedy, I've tried to do accents, but I can't. So I left it alone, right?
Mm.
Because I can't. This is how I speak. I can go lower, I can go up, but this is my accent. But my nieces, on the other hand, they watch so much cartoons that they do accents that I'm like, I wish I could do those accents. Right? Because that's what they learn of Dora the Explorer, whatever. I want to say, Vamonos, and do all this stuff. So what if like my little niece, she's already getting a liking into the comedy because she's with me a lot.
Mm.
So I can already see that.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
now what if she has accents because she watched so much cartoons that she can nail it?
Mm.
Then what are you gonna tell her? No, you degrading Spanish
Mm.
people or whatever.
Mm.
I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
As long as you don't make your crowd feel inferior, that's where
Yes.
it comes. Don't make
Yes.
them feel like they came here and now they feel like they're the scum of the earth.
Yes.
Still make them feel good.
Yeah.
Use the accents if you can. I wish if I could do accents, that will be my whole show. My
Yes.
whole show.
Yes.
But I can't, so
Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing. And I know that this thesis did touch on that, you know, like don't degrade the audience. But again, it's almost the part where this comedian tried to justify that white people can't do certain accents. You know, that's
that's
the part.
racist.
Yeah, like
That's racist. So only one race can't do accents, but it's okay. Yeah, the colors can make you
yeah,
can speak in a Xhosa
yeah.
accent. But you know, we don't speak Xhosa, but we speak in a Xhosa accent to make you believe that we
Mm,
know what we're talking about, which is not the case.
yeah,
But you can't exclude one race. That's wrong.
yeah, exactly.
That's again dividing the people again.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping here. Thank you all so much for watching. I have a few listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have with me Arlene Petersen, an amazing human being, as we are discovering right now. I've known she's amazing for the longest time. She's such an awesome person. And don't forget
Guys,
that you can. And don't forget that you can donate. I'm taking donations for Arlene. The link is in the description below, so please go donate. You know, just 2,000 rand would be awesome to help out a fellow
2,000,
performers.
5,000, 10,000.
Do I hear
Are we counting
20,000?
50,000? 20,000 to the guy with the red shirt.
So yeah, so we have here YU Node. He says corporate censorship is criminal justice. I agree with that. We have Chiku, who says even a musician for gigs, I get told. I mean, he's a musician now, not a comedian. I get told what I should and shouldn't do. My expression is my expression. Get the fuck out with the limitations. So yeah, even musicians, and I didn't know that musicians were prone to
I don't
because
know because like musicians can go and like shake that ass. I've got a 10K of coke in my bag. Like they can just say whatever they want to. I never thought that they get censored
yeah, me
ever.
too.
The only
That's
censorship I see is when it's on TV and they're covering the asses on the music video.
yeah,
That's the only thing I see.
yeah, that's
Yeah, that sucks.
interesting. Oba King is watching. Thank you so much, Oba King. By the way, guys, Oba King did my
Okay.
animation that you saw at the beginning of the show. So if you want some animation work done for your business or company, please, his details are also in the description below. Oba King saying, bring those stories to the stage. That's your truth. The spare room joke
Thanks,
is funny.
Obi. Obi, I can't see the comments, so I'm just hearing of what Joe is reading. Thank you. I think I should.
Yeah. And yeah, see, Chico says Nick Rabinowitz does amazing accents. He does, but even when I had him on my show and he was telling me about the first gig he ever did, he had a bit with a Zimbabwean. He was acting as a Zimbabwean. He refused to do it. And I think it's for that reason.
See, I want to get on that level, Joe. I want to get to a level where I can refuse to do that job because it goes against my core values and morals. But yeah, you see how things is going. I quit my job 3 weeks before lockdown.
What?
I had a day job. I worked for Pilisa Bafazi Betu, which is a women's rights and children's rights organization. And 3 weeks before lockdown, I decided I want to be a full-time comedian. And then, yeah, mwah, mwah, mwah.
Perfect timing.
Joke's on me. I am the joke. I'm the joke personified.
Is there no way you can maybe, email them and say like, hey, so
So, what happened is like, so when it was lockdown, so I was at home for 3 weeks and then lockdown started. Then 2 weeks after that, they actually contacted me and be like, they need a stand-in house mother at the safe house. So Pilisa Bafazi Betu has a safe house where they work closely with police. And then if there's a situation of a woman or children that needs to get out of a house, whether it's in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, they come to the safe house. And then sometimes they need a shift house mother, and then they phone me. So I'm still on standby, even if it's
cool.
once a week or once in 2 weeks. That is still electricity money or data money for me. So
Okay,
I've learned that wherever I go, I will do the best of my ability and I have a good working ethic.
Yes.
If I say I'm going to be there, I'm there. And I think that stuck with them, even though I left. But they know my yes is my yes, and that's why they could actually reach out to me and be like, "We've got this thing." And I was like, "Hell yes!" I was the desperate one. I'm like, "I will cook, I will sweep, I will do whatever." But yeah, I still feel that I did make the right decision because at the end of the day, I found my passion in life very late. I started doing comedy when I was 28, 29.
That's
Just
not
like
late.
2 years.
That's
It's
not
very
late.
late.
No, it's not.
If you think of, I know a comic, Ayabonga, that started comedy in matric. Guy,
So
in matric, I was being.
okay, wait.
I was
No, no,
okay.
no.
I'm not comparing.
Oh
I'm
no,
not
no, 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 no.
comparing.
Let
No,
me
no, no,
let
no,
me
no.
let me give you food for thought here for a second, okay? I've always said that I am envious of anybody that starts comedy when they're above the age of 40 because they've lived a life.
Wow.
Think of it like that.
Well,
I've seen Ayoba King. Nothing wrong about him. I love his comedy and stuff. But when you're young, you don't have a lot of stories. You college party. Maybe a girlfriend or two, depending on what how active you are. But that's about it. When you're older, when you're 40 and you're 50 and stuff, you may have been married, you've had kids, you've lived a life, you had businesses, you've traveled. So I say that's why I say like it's never too late to start comedy. Never too late. So think about that.
if you say it like that, thank you for the clarity because I always felt like I know everything happens for a reason, blah 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 blah. But I felt when I started, like, why didn't I think of this earlier and invested more time in this career? Because it's the first career. Now I've done everything. I've worked for Moparks, I flipped burgers, I worked at Incredible Connection, I was a call center. Oh, every call center I was there. Because I love talking, and that's what you need for call center.
Yeah.
But stand-up comedy is the first time that I'm actually working and not feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
So like that was trick. That to me, I was like, that's why I could do 6 gigs a week. I could do 7 gigs, 8 gigs. I don't care because I don't feel like I'm working. And you don't always get paid on that same day. So Monday you do a gig, you're doing 3 gigs whole week, but the Monday's one was paid. And then 2 weeks after that, you get paid for that Monday, and then you're like, I forgot about this. And then the money come in, and you're like, I'm gonna spoil myself, which is takeaways.
Hey, I'm the same. I love my takeaways. So Yolandi saying,
For me, you know,
Yolan-
it for me for takeaway. Saving Sabawal, a takeaway.
Yolandi saying, well, she's saying Yolandi is the name Joe in future. Thank you, Yolandi, for letting me know because
Hi,
username
Yolandi.
her username is YU no nod, which is a weird one.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah, her
Yeah,
name is Yolandi.
and she
This is
also
all
says,
lockdown people coming over to your show.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yolandi also says you're doing brilliant, Arlene. So she's obviously a
thank
fan.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
so yeah,
You
okay.
know, no, one thing I can say is I've met the people in the audience right now commenting, right? I've met them recently online. We've never met face to face, but yet they support me more than my own family. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. I've learned in this lockdown, right? Lockdown has been up and down for me, but I've learned that if you want to increase your net worth,
Yes.
get strangers to like or love you. Because in my whole career, only two blood relatives has ever come to my show. But Joe, they were the first people that said when it was lockdown, oh, why don't you do lives, online stuff? I'm like, "Guys, I want it for free. Because you the first one. So in the beginning, I was very anti online stuff.
Yeah.
I said from the beginning, I'm not going to do comedy online.
Yeah.
But what I figured out was I only do new stuff online now. I don't touch my old set.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
the
like,
same.
somehow, some way, this must come to an end.
Mm.
Then I still have my old set, added the new stuff.
Yep.
My family, Peterson and Weingarts, you don't deserve my comedy for free. I'm just saying that. Let me just get that out there. Thank you. My mom is laughing inside because that's how I feel. Yeah.
No, you're right, man. Like, the thing is, like, it's. I've been doing this YouTube thing since basically the beginning of lockdown. Literally, the first day of lockdown,
Oh,
I did a
that takes.
yeah. So I did a first like stream. Literally going into the first stream I ever did was going into lockdown. And doing it for a while, and yeah, the people are amazing, man. Like some people on the internet, when you find your crowd, they're there, man. They're watching. They've been watching the comedy stuff that I've been doing, which obviously gives you guys a little bit more of exposure. There's one of them right now. Best times, friends and family pay double. Beth.
I wish it was true. But can I ask you a question, Joe?
Sure, of course.
Like, you know what I'm finding extremely difficult is,
Mm,
so I've grown up watching comedians, right? So I
mm,
have my favorites and I have the ones that I like a bit more than I should, right? So my experience with this is now I am doing a gig online, right? I'm here. And then obviously you can see in the comments who joined. And then you just see, my one of my idols. He's not a comedian. He's a radio personality. K Easy.
mhm.
He's I will die if I meet K Easy. So I was live doing my comedy, and then I saw K Easy join, and then I was like, ah, he's my head, right? That's what I forgot words. What do you do? Have you ever had that experience?
Not yet.
Did it happen to you?
Not yet, if I'm honest. I don't think this. Wait, has there anyone been in the? Okay, well, there's a guy that I watch quite often. His name is Ronaldo House. He's one of the most successful YouTubers on in South Africa, and he does a lot of political analysis and stuff like that. And very nice guy. And I gotta admit, like he inspired me to do the online thing. I've been watching him for a few months before the lockdown, and then when the lockdown happened, I was like, well, let me try what Ronaldo does, and then or
Yeah.
similar to it. And the one day he was actually on my channel, and I like commenting, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like
Now that feeling right there,
yeah,
that feeling, I was like, that to me was the upside of lockdown.
mm,
Like I'm doing a comedy show on Sunday night, an international
wow,
comedy show, Joe, with international comics, which would
nice,
have never happened
yeah,
if there wasn't this. Like the one thing I was saying is like 2 weeks ago, I was a headlining guest, like I am right now on a show, which would have never happened because I am just all in. Someone that only started recently, she don't know what she's doing. Because to be honest, that is what's happening right now, right? Just before lockdown, to be honest, like you knew you don't know what's going on. Okay, you don't have to agree with me. You don't whatever. That's how I felt. Like
Okay.
people were like saying, no, she's new. Like when I got the Jive Funny Festival
Yeah.
gig, people were like, yeah, how even?
Mm.
But like I worked hard, guys, but you guys don't see that part. It's like, yeah, she's new, she don't know.
Yeah,
But lockdown
it's a
has given
mix.
me that experience where I can be, it's an even playing field right now.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And even like, okay, to go back to what you were saying now about, being a new comic and stuff like that, I think a lot of it, like when you told me, we did a gig, if you remember the Knob, and
Yeah, yeah.
at that gig, you told me, "Oh, I've been doing MC for like 5 years already." I was like, I didn't even know that, right? But the fact that you told me that, I was already thinking, okay, well, if you've been doing it for 5 years, I'm going to get you to host my show, because I didn't know that. And I'm okay. I'm a different kind of promoter than most promoters. Um, and one thing this lockdown has showed me is that this whole tradition, and I might get a bit of flack from some comedians for saying this, but um, there's a tradition in our industry where you got to do open mic nights and you got to climb the ladder and you got to eat a bit of shit, so to speak, and then you build yourself, build yourself, build yourself. Doing the open mic nights is absolutely important because you practice at your practice ground, you're practicing your material, you're getting better, better, better. I'm not saying don't do that, but I think it's going to be interesting when we get out of lockdown, because what I've seen from interviewing a lot of the comedians is they didn't do the normal things. I'll give you an example. I know two comedians. One of them is watching right now, who won the, Oba King won the Comedy Jive Festival, and then went on to do his one man show, and it was successful. I know another comedian who the first time they did comedy did a one man show. That kind of stuff, where that they're breaking the normal traditions of comedy, and that's why, like, when you come to me and you say, "Oh, I've been doing emceeing for 5 years," I'm not going to be like, "Well, I'm going to wait until I see you at Armchair, and I'm going to wait until you're hosting at Cape Town Comedy Club to book you." I'm going to be like, "Well,
But
host my show."
that is so cool of you because you actually that's what you actually said. Come over and you can host the show. And I was like, this one I don't even know me. But like big ups for being that person because like even me, Oba King and I we were in the same competition
Yes.
obviously. And that gave me more exposure.
Mm,
Even though I didn't win, I also went on to have my 1 year anniversary show. Let me tell you this. I catered for 50 people,
mm.
right? I had a 50-seater venue. There was 90
Wow.
people.
Well done.
There was people sitting on the floor,
Nice.
people coming in from the door.
Nice.
All because I also included the comedians that had a pivotal role in my first year. And it was mind blowing to think that this is what I can actually do.
Mm.
And just to show people that I am serious about this, whether I'm going to be an open micer for 5 years or whatever, I don't care. I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay, Joe. I'm
But
here to stay.
that's the thing. This is the point I was getting to. I think lockdown is going to change comedy a bit. I remember at the beginning of lockdown, I was having a conversation with comedians who were on my show. How is the lockdown going to change the industry? And I think I know how it is. I think if a comedian has like a lot of the comedians are doing the YouTube and the online stuff right now, right? And let's take Mario for example. Mario has done amazing things. I mean, every single day, without fail, he's done a show. Every single day, and that deserves the biggest round of applause because
Mario!
he's brought laughter every single night. And how he finds these comedians, I have no idea. Some of them I've never even heard of, and international, from America, from UK. It's amazing what he's doing, and if he keeps that up, he'll build a reputation. He has a platform to become better, and not doesn't necessarily again need to follow tradition. Because if I see that he's doing well on there, I'm gonna be like, dude, come support, come host my show, because you're doing great hosting this show. Come host my show, like that's how I see it. Yeah, so I
Mhm.
think that's
Let me
how.
let me tell you something about that show.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Loft and Lockdown, and depending on data, I try to be on like every night,
Yeah.
depending if I have data. And what's happening is, so we commenting at the bottom, right? And other comics that's on the show, they see your name, they follow you,
Yeah.
they ask you, do you want to do a show international? How you think I got the international gig?
Yeah.
Just by commenting there, and people see you, and it's like, what? It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Even
Absolutely.
what you doing, you're giving me a platform. Look, we spoke about deep stuff, we spoke about funny stuff right now, whatever. But you gave me this platform.
Yeah.
I would never just go live and be like, everybody's bursting these days. Everybody's going live these days.
Yeah.
Like I have more pages on my Facebook account now than actual friends. Like more pages and YouTube channels, and like I'm on Skype, Zoom, YouTube, BoobTube, BeefTube, whatever. Like this is where the world is going. I feel like comedy, live comedy. I miss the stage.
Yeah.
I thrive on the stage. Like even you can see I'm very animated. I can't sit still. So
Yeah.
I miss that aspect of the stage that I can walk up and down and talk everywhere, whatever. But the way I see it is this will still be included in a live show. There will be someone streaming that live show. This can never just not it can never disappear right now. It has been created. We are into it now. And
Exactly.
I feel like even though there's a live show, Joe Emilio's sit down and lockdown will become stand up and lockdown at the gig that night when we do it live.
Yeah.
That's the way we go. That definitely I'm excited.
It is exciting.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can look 10Ks smaller on screen though.
No, embrace it, man. Embrace it. Like so many people told me, like I need to lose weight or whatever, and I say, you know what? I'll lose weight when I want to lose weight. I don't know who might be watching me on the stage when I'm on the stage, and yes, some people be like, oh, he's a bit overweight or whatever. Oh, look at this guy, blah blah blah. You're gonna get those people, but there might be someone who's watching who is subconscious about their weight as well, but want to try comedy. And I might inspire that person. They'll be like, well, if this guy can do it, then... Because you know what?
Okay.
Like, I used to be subconscious about my weight. And I mean, no disrespect here. I really don't. But KG's quite a big guy. And I used to... It's true though. And I used to look at him and be like, you know what? If he can do it, I can. That's literally the inspiration he gave me.
Like, he's big, but he's cack funny.
Yeah.
He's cack funny, so at least be funny.
Are you saying that I'm not funny?
Yes, pause that one. Joe, you know what? I've come to the realization, right, that I accept my weight the way I am, right? Because you never know when there's another lockdown, and then I need to have all the stored up energy and fat so my body can survive. This is what I'm taking away from this. I'm a camel hump at the moment. I'm a hump. I have water. Okay, I can survive 3 months still.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I rationale it too. Like,
I see you, Joe.
Oh man, look, I can't believe that we've almost hit the hour, which is, we were supposed to play a game, but we got so caught up in our conversation, and it's a very, very good conversation. I'm glad that we had this conversation, and I feel that more comedians should speak about this, should speak about the censorship, should speak about cancel culture and how it does affect our art, and it's not right. And also speaking about the things that maybe normal media wouldn't speak about, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show. And I think maybe we should try and end on the game, if you're okay with that.
Cool.
All right, cool.
I'm cool.
All right, cool. So very quickly, I just want to say that Yolanda is sending a lot of laughing emojis, and Uber King says the only thing that matters on stage is if you're funny. That's the beauty of comedy. Exactly.
I love
Chico saying I was quite overweight until my health gave me problems. If you're not having problems, then you shouldn't have to worry about your weight.
Totally agree with Chico. Chico, you're the man. You're my man.
Have you met Chico before? He's
I've met Chico at the secret place.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. He's quite a nice guy. All right, so here we go. This is the interrogation game, guys. Usually I do this at the middle of the show, but like I said, we've been having such an interesting conversation. We thought we'd end with the game. So for those of you who don't know, this interrogation game is Arlene has prepared three sentences. I prepared three sentences. We will go one on one, one at a time, and interrogate each other. The idea is that one of these three sentences about ourselves is a lie, and the other person needs to ask questions to find out which one is the lie. So I will go first to give you a feel for how it works, and then
Okay.
you will then interrogate me. So, and those of you that are watching, I will have 2.5 minutes to interrogate Arlene. And you can also help in the comments. If you have a question, if you want to guess the number, which sentence is the lie, help me out. Let's try and see if we can figure out which one of these sentences is the lie for Arlene. Now, I'm going to read the sentences out before I start the time. The first statement is, I was a professional hiker in my teens. Second sentence, I can't ride a bicycle. And third sentence or statement, I bake the best chocolate cake ever. All right, my 2.5 minutes begins now. All right, so I think you are a great baker. I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. I find it very hard to believe
Of
that
course I
you.
am.
I find it very hard to believe that you cannot make a very good chocolate cake. So
Of course.
I'm not gonna even ask questions about that. Riding a bike. Why? Why haven't have you just never tried to ride a bike?
Like, maybe it wasn't interesting to me. I don't know.
Okay, cool. So and then I was a professional hiker in my teens. Okay. When you say teens, like what age? 13, 14?
No, from I was started at 10 and I left hiking when I was 18.
When you were 18.
And I like did all the competitions, Bola 90, Great and 50, like professional hiker.
Wow,
Where you
okay.
have to pack your bag a certain way and you must have 2 liters of extra water in case you get lost with your emergency pack. You must pack your bag in a certain way with a thermal blanket just in case you get lost. Compass always goes on top, torch on the side, like serious hiker.
Okay, so that is true. From that answer. All right, so I think I may know what the lie is, but I have 1 minute left, and Beth Symes is asking, where did you get the recipe for your chocolate cake?
Online. I taught myself. I am self-taught. Like I've never gone to school to cook or to bake, but I've got many, many years of experience of eating food and cake. So if you got Google, you can bake,
All right.
especially if you wake and bake.
There you go. All right, so 25 seconds left. I'm going to make a call because I agree with Beth Symes. She thinks number two is the lie, which is I can't ride a bicycle. I also think number two is the lie. What? No. Wait, so you
So I
can.
have a fear of falling. I have a fear of falling.
Yeah?
And a bicycle, it's very sin-free me. So I always have this fear that I'm gonna fall and mess up my legs because I've got like a lot of tattoos on my legs. So I'm like, nah, bruh. So number two is wrong. Number two is the lie.
Number
No,
two.
no, no. Number three. Number three is the lie. I can't bake.
No.
I can cook, but I can't bake. That's so number
No.
three is the lie.
Wow. Okay. Well done. Well. Yeah, I think you fooled everyone. Even Chico's like,
I knew
"What?"
I knew because I'm always posting cooking stuff on Facebook, but you guys never see me posting baking stuff. So, hey,
You're smart. You're smart.
yes,
Okay. Cool. So you know how to play this game. Okay. So I'm gonna read my statements, and then
okay.
when you've got it in your head. But again, if at any time you want me to repeat the statements, I will, and I'll also let you know what the people in the comments are saying, which one they think uh, is the lie. Beth Symes saying she's a good liar.
I learned from the best. I learned from the best.
And
My mom
Chico.
asked me, "Were you in school?" Yes, straight face. Yes.
And Chico saying we need to have a talk, Arlene.
Okay, Chico, after the show, get into my DMs.
All right, so my statements are as follows. Number one, I broke my arm during a four-wheeler accident. Okay, I broke my arm during a four-wheeler accident.
Okay.
Second statement is I hate Marmite. Simple. I hate Marmite. And number three, I recently tried peanut butter and maple syrup and loved it. I recently tried peanut butter and maple syrup and loved it.
Okay, so I feel like you've put in number two as the twister, like I did. I see you. I see you. But it is possible for you to have broken your bike on a four-wheeler, because I think that's possible. What was number one again?
That's the one where I broke my arm during a four-wheeler accident.
Okay. I think that's true. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is,
I hate Marmite.
what is number two? Right, Marmite. Now that is the two that I'm like, I feel number two is a lie.
You don't want to
I feel
ask
like I'm
any. You don't want to ask any questions.
no, I straight go to why would you put in you hate Marmite when it's the obvious thing, like 90% hate Marmite, they still sell. I don't know how that happens. So I think number two is the lie.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a bit of help here. You have a minute and 35 seconds.
It's wrong. Okay, no.
No. I'm not saying it's
Okay.
wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I want to be fair because I can see the comments and you
Okay.
can't. And Beth Symes is saying this is her opinion. Number three is the lie. He tried that ages ago. Number three is the one where I said I recently tried peanut butter and maple syrup and loved it. So that's her opinion. I'm not saying that she's right or wrong. Chico thinks he's doubtful about number one. Okay. The Dodgy Idealist, hi, thank you, Dodgy Idealist, for joining in, by the way. He agrees with Beth. So he says number three is the lie as well. And Chico also know Beth.
Do they follow you on social media?
Yes, they do. And Chico, as a matter of fact, just said, oh shit, Beth knows things. And then Dan Workman, thank you so much, Dan Workman, for joining us. Number three for sure. So we have a bit of a, yeah, so it seems like a lot of people are saying number three. And yeah, so most are saying number three is a lie, and Chico thinks one is a lie. So
I'm going with my gut feeling. And
okay.
There's a saying in the hood, you change your mind, you lose your luck.
Okay.
My mind says number two is the lie.
Number two.
I'm sticking to it. I'm locking in my answer. What do I win, by the way? Is there any airtime, cool drink? I'm locking in. Number two, I think you love Marmite.
Okay.
Because Marmite would go nice on tacos. Not that I'm stereotyping at all. But I think
Hola.
you
Okay.
like Marmite.
Drum roll. You would be wrong.
Number three. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, so we even. We're both wrong.
Yeah. So the number one was the lie. I wasn't a four-wheeler accident when I was, I think, about 7-8 years old. I still have my muscle here is a bit messed up, but I never broke the arm. My muscle is deformed though because of it.
You see, Joe, it takes a liar to recognize a liar. No, well done. I must say well done to the both of us.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't see.
We're good
past
liars.
that, so yeah, well.
I don't know if that's something to be proud of.
No. Like in physics or in maths or whatever they say, two negatives, a negative and a negative makes a positive.
Okay. Yeah,
So be positive right now.
I can see we're in
Cool.
politics. You know how to spin things.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
All right, so there was some people that were right. So Chico was right, and Lizanne else was also right. Thank you, Lizanne, for tuning in and watching.
Chico, I should have gone with Chico. I should have gone with you. Chico, next time.
Even Yolanda was incorrect. She guessed number three. Number three is true. I recently tried peanut butter and maple syrup on the weekend.
Suck. That
Yeah.
has been a staple food. Maybe not maple syrup, but jam. Same
I don't
WhatsApp
like it
group,
with
sweet and
jam.
sweet.
I don't like it with jam.
Same thing.
I don't like it with jam.
No. So
No.
you're one of those people that don't eat pineapples on the pizza?
Yes.
That type
Yeah,
of
I hate.
person?
No, don't put pineapple on a pizza. Come now.
Oh, why? Because social media told you not
No,
to.
because it
I
tastes
promise
wrong.
you. If you take pineapple and you grill it and you put some chili over it and put it on the pineapple, different,
Maybe.
different,
Okay, maybe, but
different.
I don't like chili, so I'm a very picky eater.
What are you living in Mexico for a moment then? You don't like chili? No, bruh. No. But I can see that. I can see that because I used to work at Westside Distillers. I used to work at the distillery, right?
Yeah.
Where I like actually help make vodka and whiskey and that. And then I just lost interest in alcohol
Mm.
because of working with it. So maybe Mexico desensitized you of like loving chili and that, which is weird.
Yeah, actually, in a way, you're right. Egyptians. I lived there for a very long time, and Egyptians like spicy food as well. And there was a time when I did like spicy, but then it got a bit much for me, and I was like, yeah,
Tell the truth, it got to your stomach.
it did. Yeah.
Something to some, yeah, yeah. That's the only reason people say I don't like spices. I'll be like, give that jalapeno here, put it on my plate. We paid for this. We're eating all of this. Come on, these people in Africa that don't have jalapenos.
I will say this though.
Later.
I love. Oddly enough, I love chili poppers.
Bruh, we will fight over chili poppers, especially the one with the feta in there.
Mm,
We will
mm,
fight. We will fight.
I'm gonna.
Serious. The souriness. I can feel it here in the back. The sour taste with the chili and the cheese. Bruh, I'm hungry.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna order some fucking things
I'm
now
hungry right
from
now.
Mr. Delivery.
Can't brag here with ordering. We can't even order because no Uber Eats in our area.
No, really. Oh
Mm.
man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I don't have a car, so I can't go through the drive-through.
Jeez. All
I
right.
can smell KFC from Musenberg. Can smell it.
That's
Especially with
torture.
that sweet oyster wind, and then it just plays so in the air. You get that smell like that 3-day-old oil, which I love so much.
Don't be shy, man. I love it too, man. Like when you walk outside of KFC and you smell that whiff, and you're like, I feel like
Uh,
chicken. I felt like pizza, but now I want chicken.
it takes me back to when you were a teenager. I don't know if you guys were sniffing glue back then, but I feel like doing that in front of KFC. Just I'm elevating right now. Yo, not clubbing, not
Sniffing glue outside of KFC. That's
uh,
funny. Oh man. Okay, so we've we've gone over the hour, but it's been so much fun, Arlene. I will definitely have you back for more than one reason, because I do want to. I do a different show. This is supposed to be like a fun, entertaining, get to know the comedian behind the scenes kind of show. I do another show where I talk about interesting topics. And if you're okay with it, I'm providing you a platform where we can really get into the issues that are currently happening in your community, and at least people will hear about it. This channel is growing week by week, day by day, and so maybe in a week or so we can have you on and we can talk and get into some of the issues that your community is facing at the moment. I think people need to hear it, and it's good that people do hear it. So if you're keen, let me know. You have my number. But what I usually
I'm taking a screenshot right now because this is what I do. I'm not gonna leave here without a screenshot. So
okay.
got it.
All right.
I'm definitely keen for. Let me know.
Cool.
Thank you for having me on your show. I
Of
enjoyed
course.
myself thoroughly. And to
Fantastic.
all the audience that tuned in, thank you. We cannot do this without you guys. We appreciate it. You let me know. I'm here. I'm on your show. I'm
Fantastic.
here. I'm here for the fire. Let's bring it.
Awesome. All right. So I'm gonna sign off now. You can stay on, or if you have to go, you're more than welcome to leave. I understand, but if you stay on,
Save my data.
okay, cool. So we'll say bye now then, and I'll chat to you on
Thank you so
WhatsApp.
much.
All right, cool. Thank you, Arlene. It's been a pleasure. It's been amazing. You are such an amazing person. And everyone, please go check out Arlene Petersen on Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. She's everywhere, and she is fantastic and super funny. Arlene, once again, thank you so much for tuning in and coming.
And just before I go,
Yeah.
I'm trying this new thing where I have a sign off sentence. So I'm just gonna sign off with this is the first time I'm trying it, right? So whenever I'm gonna go on a show, I'll end off like this. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And always remember, dress as if you're going somewhere better later.
I like
This
that.
is so
That's a good
wonderful.
one. That's a good one. I like that
Thank
one.
you.
I like that. It's original. It's nice. All right, cool. Have a good day. Have a good night, and I will chat to you soon. We'll have you back on very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. That was Arlene Petersen, up and coming comedian who is super funny, and as you can tell, such a wonderful, wonderful human being. It has been a pleasure speaking to her. We went a bit over time, but she spoke about some very interesting things at the beginning of this episode. I encourage everyone who's tuning in now to go and watch this from the very beginning. Don't forget that you can also donate to Arlene. That donation box is open until the 20th of June, and the link is in the description below. So please go check that out and donate whatever you feel like. 20 Rand, 1,000 Rand. You heard her, she needs some airtime. So let's help her out a little bit, and then maybe we can get some KFC to her house as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to thank everybody that tuned in. Dan Verkel, Dodgy Idealist, Kyle, Chico, Beth Signs, we had Oba King tuned in, and everybody else. Thank you guys so much. Please like this video, share, and subscribe if you haven't. I have guests almost every week, comedians and interesting people I chat to about current situations and stuff like that. Tomorrow night, though, is different. Tomorrow is a roast, ladies and gentlemen. We do a roast every Friday, and we have Nabila Isat, who's going to be debuting on the show. She's going to be the roast mistress, and then we have Bevan Boyson and Mikhail Kanaka going against each other. And trust me, you do not want to miss on that because they are on fire. They're just all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you at the next one. Good night.